Boredom is his kryptonite, and it is for many small business entrepreneurs that I work with.
Boy, isn't that true that boredom is our kryptonite as small business entrepreneurs? Well, this video is actually really more about an ideal client avatar and why I felt really comfortable to turn this guy away. He really just didn't fit in terms of what it is that I do. And I feel like we still parted as friends and I was able to help him out a little bit. But this video really gets to the meat and potatoes in terms of who you can help and why you need to be comfortable to turn folks away that just aren't a good fit.
I got into a conversation the other day with a guy who wanted to hire me as his coach. And he started putting some stipulations on there about things that he didn't want. And he really didn't want to talk about his personal vision at all. And he says, no, I'm really clear on that. I said, well, is it written down? He says, well, look, I just want to be able to do whatever it is that I want. I said, okay. And I respect that. I understand he just has this need for variety in his life that he doesn't necessarily want something defined out down to the gnats behind. And I totally get that, because many entrepreneurs who have ADHD or ADHD-like symptoms, let's face it, we like variety. We like keeping our options open. We like lots of different things. So having a well-defined vision in terms of what that is, it feels very controlling. It feels like, oh man, I don't want to define myself into something that maybe I'm missing out an opportunity over here because it's all defined out. And I understand that. I really do. But there's certainly things that you don't want. There's certainly things that you just don't have any real interest in. Like me personally, I don't really have any interest in going on a safari, right? I might at some point in my life, but I can honestly rule that one out. I'm like, that's okay. I'm not really interested in all that. But having a personal vision that's written down in terms of what does my free time look like? When do I wake up? When do I go to bed? If I want to have a day of travel where I hop on a plane and it takes me wherever it is I feel like going, that's totally fine. You can bake that white space in your calendar. That's totally fine. But what I am talking about is, specifically what would your day-to-day activities look like? There are certain things that definitely interested this guy, but he was not interested in that sort of thing at all. I said, look, man, I'm not trying to plan your day down to the second, but what I am trying to do is get you thinking of what you can work towards and something that is really passionate for you. So defining whatever it is that you want. If you want to go race ostriches, that's fine. If you want to go race and have a NASCAR experience, that's fine. But let's start defining the things that whatever it is that you do want, and let's start defining some of that stuff out. Maybe it's just about discovery. That's totally fine. That makes total sense. I get that. It adds to that variety that he needs, or maybe it's just the challenge that he needs from time to time to say, I don't know what it is that I want, but I don't want to be stagnant, right? Because I don't want to be boredom. Boredom is his kryptonite, and it is for many small business entrepreneurs that I work with. They don't want to be bored. It was interesting because he kept challenging me on this, and it ultimately wasn't going to work out because I am a vision-driven coach. That is my main circuit breaker in terms of how I'm going to coach people and say, look, is this in alignment with your personal vision? Even if it's about having open space on your calendar to go do whatever it is that you want, you going and creating an extra job for yourself, that's what's going to end up happening if you're not careful. And this is what ended up happening to me through my 20s, through my 30s, through my 40s, right? Yep, I'm that old. But the thing is that when I started to find what it is that I did want, even though I may have wanted some open space on my calendar to do whatever it is that I wanted, now I have the open space on my calendar to do that. And now I have a business that actually is able to support as I come to my office, and I'm able to sit and think and study and do research and help coach other small business entrepreneurs towards a direction that they want to go in that is defined, even if some of that open time is left for discovery. And I've said this before, and I think it's worth repeating, that when you create a business vision, which is what this guy was doing, when you create a business vision before you create a personal vision, you end up creating a life that exists to serve the business. When you have a personal vision that's well-defined and well-defined for you, it becomes really clear on what you're working towards, what you're working for. And if that's really clear, you're always going to find a way. If it's not clear, you're always going to find an excuse.